Story 1. The Voice in Room 313. The Whisper in the Mirror. Camera slowly pans down a dark, rainy hotel corridor. Lights flicker intermittently. The wind rattles the windows. A sign reads, Room 313, do not disturb. Some rooms are empty, but not all ghosts leave. Ethan checked into Room 313 thinking it was just another night. He was wrong. Ethan, a weary traveling salesman, enters the old roadside inn. Rain lashes against the windows. The innkeeper, a frail woman, hesitates as she hands him the key. It's a strange room. Ethan chuckles nervously, brushing off the warning. He doesn't notice the faded stains on the carpet or the way the hallway seems unusually quiet. Room 313 had a history. Every guest left differently. Or didn't leave at all. Ethan steps into the room, old furniture covered in dust. A cracked, tall mirror leans against the wall. Dim yellow light flickers from a single lamp. As he unpacks, a faint whisper drifts from the corner of the room. Don't. Look. In the mirror. Ethan freezes. His eyes dart to the cracked glass. The reflection seems off. Each time he turns, the mirror flickers, shadows shifting unnaturally behind him. A sudden chill fills the air. His breath curls visibly in front of him. Scratching sounds echo faintly from the walls. Every shadow stretches, as if alive, inching closer. At exactly 2:47 a.m., Ethan finally stares directly into the mirror. His reflection lingers a second too long, then smiles at him. From the glass, a whisper hisses, You shouldn't have come here. The lights go out. Darkness engulfs the room. The whispers intensify, echoing from every corner. Ethan rushes to the door, locked. Panic rises. The mirror fogs over slowly. Words appear as if written by an unseen hand. He looked. Ethan's scream pierces the silence. Then nothing. Next morning, the cleaning staff finds the room empty, bed unmade, no sign of Ethan. The mirror remains fogged with the chilling message, He looked, and now you know too. Some rooms are meant to stay empty, and some whispers are never meant to be heard.
The Silent Passenger. Camera focuses on a dimly lit road at midnight. Fog curls around the streetlights. A lone car moves slowly down the empty highway. Narrator, low, eerie tone. Some rides never end, and some passengers are never alone. James thought it was just a late-night drive. He was wrong. Some rides never end, and some passengers are never alone. James thought it was just a late-night drive. He was wrong. Some rides never end, and some passengers are never alone. James thought it was just a late-night drive. He was wrong. When he looks forward, she appears again, closer now, with a faint smile. James tries to shake it off, thinking it's fatigue or imagination. No one was supposed to be in that car, yet someone was. Strange things happen. The radio switches to static. Whispering voices echo in the cabin. The air turns icy cold. Every mirror reflects her face, always staring silently, never blinking. He stops the car at a gas station. When he looks back, she's gone. Relieved, he drives again. But as he accelerates, the figure reappears instantly in the back. Seat closer. Her smile now wider. Panicked. James tries to shake her off, taking sharp turns and looking desperately in mirrors. She leans forward, whispering directly in his ear. You can't leave, not yet. He slams the brakes, but the car skids into the fog, headlights flickering. The figure disappears as suddenly as she appeared. Silence. James checks the rearview mirror one last time, and sees hundreds of ghostly faces pressed against the glass, staring at him. James arrives home, shaken and pale. The next morning, he finds a single wet handprint on the passenger seat. No explanation, no fingerprints. Some rides never end. And some passengers follow you home. Story 3. The Vanishing Hitchhiker. She was never there. Camera slowly tracks a lonely highway at night. The fog swirls, headlights barely cut through. A silhouette of a young woman stands by the roadside, thumb out. Narrator, low, tense voice. Some passengers appear only to vanish, and some journeys are never meant to be completed. Mike thought he was helping someone. He was wrong. Mike, a college student driving home late, spots a young woman in a white dress standing in the pouring rain. Concerned, he pulls over. She climbs in silently, shivering. She doesn't speak, only gazes ahead. Her hands are pale, trembling. The air inside the car grows icy. The heater won't work. She didn't say a word, but her presence was deafening. As he drives, Mike tries to make small talk, but she remains silent. He notices her shoes are soaked, yet no water drips onto the car floor. Every mirror shows her reflection perfectly, except her eyes seem darker, deeper than normal. They pass an abandoned cemetery. Suddenly, she points ahead, silently, toward an overgrown path. The fog thickens. The road seems to stretch endlessly. Mike checks the back seat. She's gone. Mirrors fog slightly, revealing only her shadow at times. Headlights illuminate gravestones that vanish when looked at directly. Mike stops the car, panicked, heart racing. He sees her standing by the roadside, soaking wet, smiling faintly. He rolls down the window to ask if she needs help. She leans closer, whispering, "You'll never forget me." As soon as he blinks, she vanishes completely. No trace, no footprints, nothing. As soon as he blinks, she vanishes completely. No trace, no footprints, nothing. The car's radio bursts to life, playing static, then faint, ghostly laughter. Mike drives home, trembling. When he reaches the street she pointed at, he notices a faded old tombstone with her name dated decades ago. Some hitchhikers never leave, and some memories never fade. Story 4. The Reflection in the Lake. What watches you back? What watches you back? Anna, a photographer, drives to a remote lake to take long exposure night shots. The area is deserted. Only the sound of her footsteps and distant owl calls break the silence. She sets up her camera by the water and notices her reflection in the still lake. But something feels off. The reflection blinks when she doesn't. For a moment, she thought it was her imagination. But the reflection had a mind of its own. Anna approaches the water, trying to calm herself. The reflection moves independently, tilting its head, smiling faintly, gesturing toward the forest behind her. The night grows colder. Fog rolls across the water like ghostly fingers. Twigs snap behind her. She spins nothing. Every step she takes, the reflection mimics her slower, deliberately, with a sinister grin. Her camera flashes briefly captured the face of a shadowy figure, standing just beyond the tree line, watching silently, ... Panicked, Anna tries to leave, but the reflection does not move with her. It steps closer to the water's edge, smiling wider. The shadow from the forest emerges behind her, reflection its eyes, black voids. The camera on the tripod falls. She hears a whisper echo across the lake. Look deeper. The water begins to ripple violently. Her reflection reaches out, its hand crossing the surface, attempting to grab her. Anna stumbles back, trips, and the lake goes still. The shadow vanishes. Her reflection returns to normal. She packs quickly and drives away, heart racing. Later, when she reviews her photos, one image shows her reflection smiling while she was screaming in the real shot. Some reflections are windows, and some windows are doors you should never open. Story 5. The Locked Attic. What lives above? Camera slowly moves up a narrow staircase in an old Victorian house. Dust motes float in dim lamplight. A locked attic door creaks with the wind. Narrator, low haunting tone. Some secrets belong upstairs, and some doors should never be opened. Emily inherited the house, but she didn't inherit its peace. Emily, a young woman, moves into her late aunt's Victorian home. The house is silent, filled with faded wallpaper and portraits, whose eyes seem to follow her. She notices the attic door is locked tight, covered in scratches, as if something inside is trying to get out. Curious, she searches for the key, unaware of the shadows, watching from above. Every step toward the attic felt heavier, as if the house itself wanted her to stop. Emily finds the key hidden under an old rug and approaches the attic. A cold gust of wind sweeps through the hallway. Whispers float down the stairs. Leave. Don't. Open. She hesitates, but curiosity pushes her forward. The attic door groans as she unlocks it. Inside, dust-covered furniture, old trunks, and a rocking chair that moves slowly on its own. Shadows seem to flicker unnaturally. The attic light bulb flickers, as though alive. Emily steps closer to an old trunk and opens it. Inside, a collection of old dolls with cracked porcelain faces, all staring at her. Suddenly, the door slams shut behind her. She spins dash-locked. The dolls start moving, their heads slowly turning to follow her. A whisper hisses from the darkness. You shouldn't have come up here. Emily tries to run, but the attic seems to stretch infinitely. The light flickers one last time, revealing a shadowy figure standing behind her. Emily finally escapes the attic and locks the door. The house is quiet again. But when she looks at the old portraits, one painting's eyes are now wide open, staring directly at her. Story 6. The Man in the Window. He watches you sleep. Camera slowly pans across a quiet suburban street at night. A single house glows faintly through the darkness. Rain trickles down the windows. A shadowy figure stands motionless behind a window. Narrator, low, tense tone. Some eyes watch when no one should, and some strangers never leave. Sarah thought she was alone at home. She was wrong. Sarah, a college student, returns home late, one stormy night. She enters her apartment, locks the doors, and notices a shadowy figure in the upstairs window of the building across the street. At first, she dismisses it as her imagination, but the figure doesn't move. Every time she looks away and back, it seems to be closer, leaning slightly, as if studying her. The first glance might be coincidence. The second glance is proof. The third glance is terror. Sarah tries to ignore it, but strange things start happening. Lights flicker, phone dies suddenly. Soft scratching sounds against the window. She sets up a security camera, facing the window across the street. When she checks the footage, the figure is gone, but shadows stretch unnaturally across the glass panes. Later, she hears faint whispering in her apartment. I see you. Her reflection in the mirror wavers. She spins, nothing there. But outside the window, across the street, the figure reappears, closer, staring directly at her. Visual cues, rain-soaked windows, distorted reflections. Shadows stretching unnaturally. Flickering streetlights, heart racing. Sarah calls the police. While explaining, she glances out the window. The figure is gone. Relief is short-lived. Suddenly, she sees movement in the mirror. Behind her, an outline of a man standing silently. She spins around empty room. The window across the street shows nothing. Then the lights go out completely. A soft knock at the door echoes. I'm closer than you think. Police arrive. Apartment empty. No signs of forced entry. But a single note is found under the door, written in damp, smudged letters. I've been watching some strangers. Don't just watch, they wait. Story. She never sleeps. Camera slowly zooms into a dimly lit child's bedroom. Toys are scattered across the floor. One porcelain doll sits perfectly upright, facing the door. Its eyes seem to follow the camera. Narrator low, chilling tone. Some toys are meant to be loved, some are meant to terrify. Lily thought it was just an old doll from her grandmother's attic. She was wrong. Lily, a young woman, discovers an old porcelain doll while cleaning her late grandmother's attic. The doll has pale, cracked skin, bright blue eyes, and an unsettling grin. Lily places it on a shelf in her bedroom, thinking it's harmless. That night, she hears faint giggling and whispers from the doll's direction. Narrator, a doll is just a doll, unless it isn't. Lily wakes up multiple times to find the doll in different positions, always closer to her bed. Whispering intensifies, a soft, high-pitched voice repeating her name. Lily, play with me. The room temperature drops. Shadows stretch across the walls, unnaturally. Her reflection in the mirror shows the doll standing upright, even when Lily hadn't moved it. Footsteps echo faintly in the attic above her, though she is alone in the bedroom. Panicked, Lily grabs the doll and throws it into the fireplace. The flames flicker and die. Smoke clears. Doll is still there, sitting on her bed, smiling. Whisper hisses close to her ear. You can't get rid of me. The room grows dark. Shadows close in. Lily backs into the corner, screaming. Morning comes. The doll is gone. Lily assumes it was a nightmare. That night, she wakes to faint scratching on the bedroom door. On the floor, a single blue-eyed porcelain handprint glows faintly in the moonlight. Narrator haunting tone. Some toys never sleep, and some never let you sleep either. Story 8. The Shadow in the Attic. Something lurks above. Camera. Slowly pans across an old creaking house at night. The attic window flickers with faint light, despite no electricity. Shadows stretch unnaturally across the walls. Some houses have secrets in the walls, and some shadows never leave. Mark thought he was alone, but he wasn't. Mark, a young man, moves into an inherited countryside house. The attic door is locked, with strange scratch marks along the frame. At night, he hears faint noises from above. Scratching whispers, footsteps. He tries to ignore it, assuming it's old house noises, but curiosity gnaws at him. Every creak told a story. Every shadow hid a secret. Mark finds the attic key, hidden under a floorboard. As he unlocks the door, a cold draft escapes. The shadows in the hallway seem to stretch toward him. Inside the attic, dust-covered trunks, broken furniture, and old portraits whose eyes appear to follow him. Faint whispers echo, "Leave now." The attic light flickers. Mark notices a shadowy figure in the corner, always just out of focus, moving closer when he blinks. Objects in the attic shift slightly, as if touched by an invisible hand. Mark steps closer to a broken trunk. A cold hand grips his shoulder, but nothing is there. The shadow figure steps forward fully for the first time. Tall, faceless, with glowing eyes. Whispers crescendo into a scream. "You shouldn't be here." The attic door slams shut, and the light bulb explodes. Darkness surrounds him. He feels something brush past him, cold presence breathing down his neck. The next morning, Mark wakes up outside the house, clothes torn, no memory of how he got there. The attic door is locked again, scratches deeper than before. Some shadows linger, and some never let you leave. Story 10. The Silent Neighbor. He knows everything. Camera pans across a quiet suburban street at night. All houses are dark, except one with faint lights flickering. A shadow moves behind the curtains of a second-floor window. Narrator, low, tense tone. Some neighbors are just people, and some are nightmares waiting to happen. Jessica thought she was safe in her new apartment. She was wrong. Jessica, a young woman, moves into a new apartment. Everything seems normal. After a few nights, she notices a strange pattern. A single window in the neighboring building always has light. and a figure watches her silently. At first, she thinks it's coincidence, but soon she sees the figure mimicking her movements perfectly. The first glance is curiosity. The second glance is fear. The third glance is terror. The figure appears at all hours, always silent, always observing. Jessica starts finding subtle signs that someone knows her life. Her groceries moved. Lights switched off, personal notes gone. Late at night, she hears faint knocking on her door, whispering her name. Shadows in her apartment seem to stretch toward the neighboring window. One night, she looks through binoculars and sees the figure holding a notebook pages filled with sketches of her apartment, her bedroom, her bed. Jessica locks all doors and windows, trying to escape. She hears a soft, deliberate knock from the inside of her apartment. Doors are locked. Panic sets in. She looks through the peephole. Nothing. Suddenly, the lights flicker, and the figure appears in her apartment, behind her, silently standing and observing. A whisper hisses, "I've been waiting." Jessica vanishes that night. No signs of forced entry. The next tenant finds her apartment untouched, except for a single sketch of herself, sleeping pinned to the wall.